My name's Albert Zahelka. I'm the President of Topcon Precision Agriculture. We're here at Agritechnica 2015, and I wanted to spend a few minutes just talking about recent acquisitions we've made. We've made 4 acquisitions in the last 12 months and significantly increased the operating base of our business. A couple of things come along with that. First of all, the acquisitions themselves. We acquired Wackendorf, a display manufacturing company in Germany, digi-star and RDS, UK and Wisconsin-based companies in the animal feed and weighing systems area. And we acquired Norak, a boom leveling company, probably the market leader in terms of boom leveling. Putting all these companies together in a relatively short period of time, the last 12 months, presents a number of challenges. The first of those challenges, and maybe the most obvious, is we have 4 sales channels. We have 4 of everything basically, or 5 of everything. And you can imagine that presenting all these to a dealer network, every one of the dealers in every one of the acquired companies wants to sell every product we have. Obviously that's not manageable, so we're going through and have gone through and organised by country, by location, the way our dealers will cooperate with each other. There's significant differences between, for example, Australia, US and Europe. In Australia, it's a fairly easy market to manage from a dealer standpoint. So we basically did a lot of training for our existing dealers and added the new products to those dealerships. In most cases, not in all cases. Now some of that was because the representation these companies had in Australia was not as great as the representation that Topcon themselves had. So very positive leverage. In the US we have massive dealers, very, very large dealers. Some of them are construction dealers from the Topcon network, construction network, survey and so on. So we have some opportunities to get a lot of leverage there, but we've got to be careful not to destroy the distribution for the acquired companies that are relatively small in comparison. So we've got a lot of specialised dealers that do precision ag, and those dealers are capable of selling all products. In Europe's the biggest challenge. In Europe we really have a sales plan to organise distribution by country, and it's totally different by country. It's different than it is in Australia and in North America. An example would be in France. One of the acquired companies has a much stronger presence and reputation than Topcon have. And we're going to leverage that relationship now. In Spain, it's probably the reverse. And so every company is different. And then we've got the Eastern Bloc countries where we're doing a lot of business also. A lot of opportunities to leverage. Now, the challenge is that in every one of these countries we have a Topcon dealer. In many of them we have a Norak dealer, a digi-star dealer and so on. And of course we can't just have them openly selling each other's products. We want to leverage that, but we want to preserve the dealer network. So there's some products in the portfolio that all dealers will be able to sell. So that's the Topcon dealers and all the others. But there's some products that will remain a specialty. So we've organised the sales organisation to focus on several tiers of what we call an OEM, the OEM market. Major OEMs would be represented by one person representing all of the products, all of the acquisitions. A tier 2, for example, would be represented by a smaller OEM, would be represented by one person, but he'd have several salespeople to back him up for technical support. And then on the third end, the smaller OEMs in our big aftermarket business, which is a major part of our business, we need to have multiple salespeople calling on the same customer. We'll minimise that where we can, but we can't afford to take that out of our dealer network. So it's a working process. We need to keep selling the way we have been selling, and now try and leverage across the various dealers. There is an opportunity in some cases to take a weaker dealer and replace him with a stronger dealer, and in some cases we'll continue to pay and support the dealer that has been handling that business and at some point in time work out a transition plan to transition it to Topcon, or maybe even absorb and put that dealer into a larger dealership and combine dealers that way. There's a couple of countries we've done that in. That's basically it on the dealer network. Okay, one of the questions that come up from time to time are the acquisitions we made. How did we go down the path of those acquisitions? Why did we decide to do this? When acquiring companies in our business, you have two choices. You can do a vertical acquisition, which basically is acquiring one of your competitors. They have the same product line as you do essentially, and what you really acquire is a distribution network to add to your own. The result of that kind of strategy is that with our technology, a year or two down the road, we would replace all of the products in that company with our own, and what we've really acquired then is the distribution network. The other approach is to increase the base in the technologies that Topcon are not involved in currently. That's the path we chose to take. So the acquisitions we've made in the past year have broadened our base. For example, we weren't in the animal feeding business at all. Now we are. The boom leveling business and manufacturing top quality displays. So we've decided to increase the base that way. You do get you get sales channels, you get distribution networks doing that, and you can argue that the number of dealers and distributors in a vertical acquisition is bigger, but you do get a number of dealers, hundreds in fact, that are not necessarily capable of taking on a broader product line, particularly a high-tech product line such as ourselves. I think from the strategy behind that, there's a lot of players in the ag market. If you go to Agritechnica, you can see thousands of companies that make displays, thousands of companies that show GPS systems and guidance systems. But in fact, from a guidance standpoint, there's only 4 or 5 companies that make guidance systems. Everybody else resells the same systems because it's a core technology that requires very, very large investment to develop the ASICs and the algorithms to do that communication. So we have that kind of technology, and all these additional players that are making, when you walk through and look at the display products, and they all look very similar, but some of the testing and things done on our displays are such that they'll survive in our market or a construction market or a highly industrialized market, and that doesn't happen with a lot of the manufacturers. There's also a lot of consolidation happening, and the more you consolidate, the more you get a spin-off of small new companies. An example is in the data, on the data side, the big data. We're putting a lot of work into that right now, as are most of our competitors. And we looked at acquiring some companies, and in California alone, there was a listing of 400 companies. Many of those companies are extremely small, great website, and they work from a garage. And so there is a lot of players, but there's really only half a dozen major players that will take the industry forward.